This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com with a daily wrestling news update for you. Smackdown Friday night did a 0.54 preliminary rating, and the big news out of Smackdown is Rey Mysterio Jr., the WWE Hall of Famer himself, whose son recently got a new tattoo, villain or something on his neck. Anyways, Rey Mysterio got injured in a match against Santos Escobar. He was supposed to lose the U.S. title to him anyways, but they ended up calling an audible and changing the finish. The title still changed hands, but with a different finish. And we have now found out, according to Dave Meltzer, that Mysterio was just shaken. It was like a mild concussion or something along those lines. So it doesn't look like it's something where he's going to be out for a long time. John Cena did an interview with CNBC. Now, I don't know if I fully believe this. I mean, I like John Cena, by the way, and I said on the record in my Wrestling Observer review this week, I'd rather watch John Cena in the Barbie movie than either the Great American Bash tonight from NXT or SummerSlam. Sorry, that's just the way I would rather sit through the Barbie movie where Cena plays Merman, because I actually want to see him play that character. But anyways, he did an interview where he claimed that he wasn't able to become a highway patrol officer, so he went to wrestling school. And I know he was signed very young with Rick Bassman, who, by the way, I talked to Rick Bassman yesterday. He's doing very well. Cena, and by the way, yeah, Rick was the one that initially trained him, but Cena says he was met with homelessness, sleeping in the back of a 1991 Lincoln Continental and living off pizza from a local shop. So keep in mind, a 1991 Lincoln Continental, this would have been in like the late 90s when he was trained, I believe. Because I was still in high school or just out of high school when he was already in WWE, and I graduated in 2001. So a 1991 Lincoln Continental in the 90s isn't that crappy a car. But here's the funny story about this. He says every day he would eat an entire whole pizza because this pizza shop that they had would give you the pizza free if you could eat the whole pizza. And by the way, I once ate a 72-ounce steak and got that free in a steak eating contest. So I'm no stranger to power eating either. But I just found that funny because I know Cena did pay some dues, and he's done great. I have a lot of respect for him. But he got a development contract really fast, and it's not like he was homeless for that long. Because UPW did have development contracts, and then OVW, where he went to after, did. And then before long, he was on the main roster. Grandma Daisy, Rick Martello interview could happen. There is going to be a Greg Valentine interview next week. Just Joey Legend, did an interview on the Great North Wrestling Podcast with Jack Kilby today. I saw a bit of it where he was talking about his relationship with Tiger Ali Singh and Tiger Ali Singh's father, Tiger Jeet Singh, one of the all-time greats in Japan. And also, by the way, I posted today the Great North Wrestling three-way women's match between Jessica Black, Vipress, one of my favorite women's wrestlers, and Persephone Vice. That is up from the July 15th Great North Wrestling card that Joe, sadly, I wasn't there. I was still dealing with a critical condition at that point, sadly. But I am doing better. I've done 3 days in a row now, DDP yoga. Still very weak, but I will be there for the November 4th Great North Wrestling event in Renfrew, Ontario. That's my goal. I'm going to work my way back to that. I actually talked to DDP a couple days ago, and I talked to a lot of you fans, and I appreciate all your support. I don't really want to talk about that situation again. I only wanted to address it to stop the rumors. I really appreciate it. Lots of people said nice things, not only in fans, wrestling business, and wrestlers that have worked for me, and I really appreciate it. But let's just move on. Let's just say that part of my life died with me with that near-death experience, and let's start from scratch here and move on and let me focus on my recovery. And I do appreciate it, all the messages I got from all over the world. But let's focus on the new interviews. Almost a new month. We're July 30th today. And the next Great North Wrestling event, November the 4th. And I hope you guys enjoy the matches from July 15th in Smith Falls, where there was a major title change. There was a major title change on that event. And it's tough editing the footage from that event, not being there after I worked really hard on it and wanted to be there. But I'm glad that Jack Kilby pulled it together, and one of the producers, Donald, really helped as well. I know everyone helped, so I'm glad everyone got it together. I did a whole podcast, Ed, responding to that Abdullah the Butcher Dark Side of the Ring. He lost in court. He appealed both times in court, and he lost both appeals. He was served by a process server. They really tried to go after me in that. That's their choice. And by the way, for the people that said they had a problem with me wishing that he had a slow death, first of all, that's a line I said to be entertaining on TV. But second of all, he put me through 2 hepatitis C treatments. It was a lot harder to treat back then. The first one didn't work, and I had a mild stroke after the first one. The second one was horrible and cost me $80,000. And for the people that said, oh, you sued WWE, that's why they never rehired you. Well, if I hadn't sued WWE, there never would have been a settlement, and I never would have been even able to afford my second treatment. And the fact of the matter is that the WWE, once they said no to me due to having Hep C at that time, I was damaged goods. It's not like I'm Roman Reigns, already a star. When they put money into someone, and when they signed me, I was 26. That's like a young guy that they can sign and has a good 15, 20 years ahead of him in the company. They don't want someone that's been through multiple treatments, and it's controversial, and he's considered damaged goods. So, anyways, no gimmicks guy, Jack Kilby. Don't forget the Pope, Elijah Burke, will be live Tuesday at 7 p.m. The Great North Wrestling Podcast. Fans, questions taken. By the way, write in the comments if you want to see the Pope in Great North Wrestling. I know that's somebody that that has been mentioned a couple times. Bash at the Beach 2000 should be a good episode. I've heard about Bash at the Beach 2000 to death. I'm still gonna watch it because it's pretty much the only wrestling show I can watch. The show I liked the best, which I also did a review on, was the Bam Bigelow one because I knew the least about it. There's a whole podcast on this channel of Vince Russo talking about Bash at the Beach 2000. There's a whole podcast of Kevin Sullivan talking about it on this channel. I've heard Hulk Hogan and Bubba the Love Sponge version of it. I mean, it's been done to death. Somebody likes Jack Kilby a heel. Someone wants to see the Pope and Shark Boy in Great North Wrestling. There you go. There's, again, November the 4th, Renfrew, Ontario. Ottawa Valley. We haven't been to the Ottawa Valley since before the pandemic. So be there and support us. The more people come out to support the Great North Wrestling events, the more we're going to be able to do. We don't give away free tickets. We don't have the budget of WWE and AEW that can give away 2,000 free tickets for television tapings Impact, when they came to Ottawa, actually paid people to go to the show. You guys can look it up. They paid a talent agency called Angie's Models to pay actors $60 to sit in the crowd. We have to make our money, Jack Kilby rather, because he's funding these events from ticket sales. So if you like what he's doing and you want us to get better and continue to get better and bring in bigger talent, support him by coming to those Great North Wrestling events. They're on Saturdays. So Renfrew is only like 45 minutes from Ottawa. Less than half an hour from Pembroke, 45 minutes or so from Petawawa. It's going to be worth the trip. Grandma Daisy, would I do a Sin Cara interview? There's not many people I wouldn't interview. There's not many people I wouldn't. Would Great North Wrestling ever do a live stream? Perhaps. But with independent shows, even NWA has had live streaming issues, and they're owned by a multimillionaire. So it's just risky to do a live stream because in a lot of these independent shows, there just seems to be too much margin for error. So maybe one day, or maybe I know there's going to be a big show next spring, a huge show. The biggest Great North Wrestling event probably since that Great North Wrestling event in Thunder Bay with Terry Funk and Kevin Nash. It's going to happen this spring. So who knows if that one's going to be a pay-per-view or not, but there's a lot of really cool wrestlers being discussed for that one. And I'm not going to say too much more about that other than I'm really excited about it. And it will be next spring, but in the meantime, I'm rambling now, but thanks for your comments. Thanks for Ian saying he's a mark for Great North Wrestling. Now the website is thehannibaltv.com. But yes, Great North Wrestling is Canada's most popular, best known worldwide wrestling company. So, No Gimmicks Guy says thanks for the entire team that helped in Smith Falls, Donald, the producer, and all the wrestlers. Yes, thank you guys for all stepping up. I appreciate it. And I know, for instance, Donald and Jack didn't even know if I was going to make it at that time, so they had that hanging over their heads and try to produce a show where I had responsibilities. So I'm sorry about that, but you guys pulled off a really good event, and I'm proud of you guys. Grandma Daisy, I'd love to interview the Harris brothers. I would love to interview them. The Headbangers, possibility. Anyways, guys, speaking of the Magnum, who's part of the Big Money Plays with Jack Kilby, later tonight, very, very soon actually, there's going to be a match posted of the Magnums from that Great North Wrestling event a couple weeks ago, or 3.5 weeks ago now. Have a good night. Hope everyone had a great weekend.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot